Clint, thanks for coming, bro.
Yeah, no worries. It's been a long time coming.
So for the people who don't know who you are, do you want to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from and tell us a bit about yourself, what your upbringing was like?
Yeah, so from Manchester, basically my journey started when I was doing seasons in Ibiza, and then I come back, thought of an idea to sell £10 plans, and then I scaled it all the way to 6 figures, and now I'm mentoring coaches to scale their business. In terms of upbringing, good, to be honest. I had a good upbringing. Dad, who was always into training, he trained for 45 years. Got me into the gym when I was young. I've done all kinds of sports, so Thai boxing, fought in Thailand for England. And then, just found the gym, really. Found the gym, got into it, and then, just cracked on from there.
So I think we've got to thank your dad for that, first of all, for putting you on the straight and narrow from an early age. And, what do you think, how important do you think it is to have such a strong male role model in your life?
I would say it's massively important. You're always thinking about sort of the steps, what you get in place. I think, I don't know what it's like, do you know what I mean? I don't know what it's like to not have a good role model in my life. Like, he taught me how to, ride my first bike. He taught me, good morals. Obviously, there's some things what he taught me what I didn't agree with, but there's a lot of right things as well. I think with people in life, you take different things from different people and you sort of mould it into one, don't you, to move forward. So that's how I always see it.
You start growing up and you start realising you sound like certain people, like even the discipline you used to hate, you start thinking, you hear yourself sounding like your parents. Like I had JB on here the other week and he was saying how he hears himself sounding like his own dad and he's thinking, oh no. So it's good. So it shows that even further along down the line, the impact that they have, it does stay with you and does, even though you don't agree with it at the time, it does have a positive, long-lasting effect on you.
Yeah, there's different characteristics. Like my dad, he's straight talking, obviously he likes the gym. And then my mum, she's more caring. And he always grew up thinking, wasn't really like my mum at all, because she's not into the gym, she doesn't eat healthy, she's not ambitious, trying to, move forward. She's always been hardworking. She's always had 3 jobs, to be honest. But she always gave me everything what I needed when I was growing up to make me fit in, to be honest. The best trainers in the school and all that sort of stuff. And I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I just grew up normal, but my mum always wanted to give me the extra, so I didn't get bullied or, got made to be different or anything like that. And then, like I say, my dad's just straight talking. He teaches me good standards, good morals. You need to wake up early. He always used to take me breakfast club in the morning. You're never late for anything, so I know I'm a bit more late sometimes now, but I was early today, wasn't I?
Yeah,
so,
right.
So you just pick different things from people, like I say, and I always, when I come back from Ibiza and I wanted to move forward, I always knew I was born for something greater, but I just didn't know what my purpose was. So that's why, obviously, I tried the Thai boxing. I went on TV a couple of times because I grew up watching Geordie Shaw and I wanted to be famous.
Go on.
So I just had to try everything. But each job what I had, I thought, I'm not too negative here because I know it's not forever. So that's when, obviously, I come back from Ibiza and I started to create the plans. And it wasn't smashing it or anything, but I seen a lot of success and it was only being sold for £10. And I thought, this is the first thing in my life now, what I've created, what's got a success, what's my own. And then obviously we went into lockdown and, I've just built up from there, invested thousands, changed thousands of people's lives. You come to the events as well, aren't you? Yeah. So we just keep scaling, keep impacting lives. And, you can get lost on the mission sometimes thinking, because every business has set figures to it, records, targets, all that sort of stuff. And over my journey over the last 7 years, you can get lost sometimes in that because you always want to improve. But really, the root cause of what we're trying to do here is impact. And every time I'm aligned back with impact, that's really when I fast forward and grow the most more than anything.
Yeah, it's great, man. Honestly, what you're doing, it's remarkable, mate. But in terms of going back to your upbringing, I think the main ingredient, you said it wasn't money. I think it was love. Yeah. So how important coming from a loving background, because to your credit as well, you come from a similar place and a background as me, but you've gone on we would say, more legitimate route and a more pure road rather than going down. That's only credit to you and your family and your upbringing, because you could have gone down the wrong path and I bet you had loads of opportunities where you could have made the wrong choice, but you didn't. You stayed reserved and you took the longer, more, let's say, more legitimate route. And, so that's a credit to you and your upbringing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like my mum, ever since I left school, when it was building up to leaving school, because I didn't get good grades in school or anything, obviously they scare you in year 11 saying you need good grades to make something yourself. I mentioned this story on my Instagram the other day, but I remember going to an assembly, and I remember it clear as day, and they was just naming like who was going to be the most successful and who was going to be the most famous, I think. And Natumba Basanko, he was going to be the most famous because he's a footballer, and he's actually a professional footballer, so they got that right. So that was good. And he's a top lad, and I'm actually going to go and visit my old high school with him and do a talk. But they said the most successful person in the year was the girl who got the highest grades. And I thought, a mad feeling at the time, I thought, I feel pretty crap here, really. Do you know what I mean? So just key moments. But like I say, when I left school, my mum said, as soon as you leave school, you're getting a job. So after school, I always wanted to be a PT. So I went to Otwood Hall College, and we had to do some tests. So it was like press-ups, sit-ups, and then I think it was some sort of run. But I was always on the bulk there, shoveling the calories in. So I didn't do any fitness at all. But I smashed everyone on the press-ups and sit-ups. That was easy. And then the run, I just missed it by a little bit. But I passed anyway and got in. And then I went into the classroom afterwards where they give you like an introduction of how it's going to look being at the school and, well, being at the college and, you know, being involved with all that. And the guy done the layout of the day, and he was like naming loads of cardio. And I thought, there's no weight training in here. And I love weights. I didn't want to do cardio. And I said, if you're doing all that cardio, aren't you going to burn muscle away? And then he was like, nah, you don't burn muscle by doing loads of cardio. And I thought, no, you do. Like, I didn't know everything. I was only 16, but I read all the Arnold books because my dad gave me every single Wikipedia there ever was. And obviously I was taught by my dad as well. So I did have some knowledge, but being 16, you second guess yourself, don't you? You think, he's older than me. He's a teacher, obviously. He must know his stuff. But I was still like half and half. So I went after the class, I went out the corridor, and I seen this big steady teacher. And I thought, he knows what he's on about. So I went up to him and said, does loads of cardio burn muscle away? He went, I don't know. I thought, fuck this, I'm not going here. They don't even know what they're doing. So that's when obviously my mum, she said, oh, Mary in the street, her son works at Cartwright's, which was like building ambulances and trailers. You should go and work there. It's £136 a week. I thought, buzzing. Going from mum's wage to 136, like balling now. Yeah. So I just took it there and then started to work, and it was the worst job I've ever had in my full life. It was like slave labour from 7 in the morning to like, 5, 6, 7 at night. You're on a production line building ambulances, and there was someone in an office up there, and they would just watch you if you talked. And if you talked, they'll come down and say, what are you doing? Like, I'm just chatting. Nah, get back to work. And it used to be that all day, every day. Yeah. Everyone who was there for like 15, 20, some even 50 years. Wow. Because it was going for ages. It was going for like 60 years. Shut down now. It went bankrupt. But the people there, they was like manufactured to the surroundings. Like they thought it was normal. And obviously I was young and all that, so it didn't affect me too much. But then when I went to IB4, obviously I got a £4,000 loan out. Me and my best mate back then, I don't speak to him anymore because we took different paths. But we took a £4,000 loan out because we thought, we want to do like a season, we want to escape, we want to explore, we're young, do you know what I mean? But he was like, I've always been a massive risk taker, so I was going to just go all in straight away, I didn't really care. But he was like, wanted to do it sensible, so he was like, no, yeah, let's just test the waters first. So we both got the loan out. He spent £1,000 in the strippers the night before. Oh. So he had 3,000, I had 4.
Wow.
So then went over there, like you do, obviously in IB4. It was a messy time, to say the least. About 2 weeks in, we was both skint. We spent every single penny, getting money off his nana and all that, like buzzing, obviously. And then come back, and you get the holiday blues, don't you? But I had the holiday blues for like a month or even longer. Yeah. And I thought, nah, this isn't right, this. Yeah. So then that year, I just handed my notice in. And then, I just done 2 seasons in IB4, made loads of good memories, had fun, but I always thought like about my health. Because obviously you're drinking from morning till night in IB for like, you're having a pint for breakfast. And your morning is 5 p.m. you're waking up at because you've been up all night, the night before. Yeah. So you're having one meal a day, and usually it's like, KFC or a kebab. And over the night it's beer, and by the end of the season I remember like I couldn't even stomach beer, I was throwing up instantly. So then I swapped to spirits then. Because obviously if you wasn't drinking at the place, this is my first season by the way, but if you weren't drinking there, you felt negative. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because like loads of Larry people.
Like you're the odd one out.
Yeah, you felt like the odd one out. Yeah, exactly. So, like I say, I made loads of good memories, but I was just lost really looking back at it. And then I thought I'll do it again, But then he ended up seeing some girl when I was back home. And obviously I was sort of getting a relationship. But then I already set stone to go in the second season. So I had my cry, left her. I remember I had a little cry, left her, I'd done the second season. And it was just completely different. Like, it was a totally different experience. I worked at a different place, still drinking all the time over there, to be honest. But then when I come back, that's when I worked on a site, and I was just doing a job duck fitting, and it was proper shit, to be honest, again. And I just felt like I was sort of cruising through life and like lost and wonder what's next sort of thing. But I knew something was next. I always knew something was next, what was going to be big. So then, yeah, I just think went from there. And that's obviously when I thought of the idea to create what I've created now. And it was called Active Clint back then. And
that's what I remember you as, Active Clint. But you know what? You've grew it into something special. And we'll touch on that a little later on. But before, what you were saying about school, it's like you realise from a young age. I seen a quote the other day and it says, I realised school was a scam when my business teacher didn't have a business and my PE teacher was fat. And that's just what it just reminded me of then when you just said it, because you knew like the information that you needed, they couldn't give it you. So then you've had to go out and try different avenues, try different jobs. And I've said it on a podcast before, like, I'm not afraid to start over. And like, you're a risk taker yourself. So you know, like, once you're trying something and you feel that it's not you're not afraid to just drop it and walk on to the next thing, which is a good character trait to have.
It is, because in life you can't have a plan B. If you've got a plan B, you've already failed. Like, you're already planning the point of actually failing that thing, what you're trying to do. So there's never been a plan B for me. This is what I'm doing. That's the only thing I'm going to do. And that's the only thing I'm going to move forward doing. In school, like I say, you know, in year 7, I'll just take you back to the school times just to give you a bit of an example of what I was like. In year 7, obviously, it's a big high school. I had an older brother who I don't really chat to anymore, but he scared me. He said, if you've been naughty in high school, you get your head flushed down the toilet. So I always went...
Wow, I remember that.
That's what I mean.
I remember that saying. Yeah.
But
wow.
it's probably because he got his head flushed down the toilet, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I went into the high school with loads of adults and all that. You're only, what are you, 12, 13 or something? Or even younger.
12, yeah.
So I was scared, you know. So I was a bookworm. I'd done all my work. I was scared to miss any test, anything like that. And I remember having like warts on my fingers. I don't know why. But
through stress and worry and that,
Maybe,
they come through worry and stress them, yeah.
So I had like the warts on my fingers and I felt like ugly, you know, felt like I wasn't good looking and all that sort of stuff and not really a lot about me and like insecure. And then I remember I was sat next to these two girls called Ria and Chantel, and they was the cool kids. And obviously I show my true self when I just said a comment about something, because I'm obviously quite short and stuff sometimes. And they started laughing and I thought, wow, I've got a bit of a laugh out of them then. Got
a bit of banter about me.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Next thing, obviously, that was when the loose cannon erupted and
the clown
I was just a
out.
class clown then. And then I just messed about from like, you know, year 7. Obviously, I got into being the cool kid and all that. I was popular, likable, you know, with the girls and all that sort of stuff. Started to create my identity and, you know, I started to feel like I was someone and it was a good feeling. And then obviously when we got to year 11... that's when I thought I need to knuckle down now, because if I don't get good grades, I'm just going to be like going nowhere in life. And I remember leaving school and I think I had like 7 GCSEs and 1 C. So really I had 1 GCSE, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little bit of background on the school times, just to give you, I don't know if you knew that, but.
Nah, it's good though. It's good. It shows that like, even though you've come from like a good home and like a loving home and stuff, you still, like every young man, you get lost in the school system and, you know, you're trying to make people laugh and get validation from other people and stuff like that. But then when you leave school and you go out into the big wide world without a plan, it's like, it don't really, you're still starting again, aren't you, really? You've got to try and figure it out. And that's what you were saying with the multiple jobs, multiple avenues. And then before you know it, you get sucked into partying and going away. And then before you know it, like your teens. They're just gone, aren't they, in the blink of an eye? You have like a few blurred memories, like you've got your Ibiza memories and stuff like that, but then it's like, what's next? And then obviously you've started to create like this business that you've got now, which is massive. At a young age, at such a young age, to have that mindset that you've got to want to build businesses and stuff, it's phenomenal, because I can't even, probably would get in trouble saying what I was doing at that age when, on a podcast, you know what I mean? But yeah, mate, so it's hats off to you. But you touched before on girls and stuff like that, but I know you're in a loving relationship now. You've got a solid partner now, so your success now, how much of that is attributed to the woman that's in your corner?
Everything, to be honest. Like, well, I'm 7 months sober now, and I wasn't like, you know, an alcoholic or anything like that. But when I drank, I done it proper. Do you know what I mean? Like I went on the benders, you know, I had the late nights. I was negative the next day. And, you know, she gave me a choice, really, because I messed up a good few times in terms of doing reckless stuff like getting flights to Dubai on my own and spending loads of money, coming back with not a pot to piss in. I've done all that, do you know what I mean? And I've been in that cycle. And it was a repetitive cycle, to be honest. And like I say, she just gave me the choice. She's very wise, Nyla, and she's caring, do you know what I mean? And she just said, like, you know, you're either doing that or, you know, you're doing me, do you know what I mean? It sounds wrong, but
No,
so
no,
obviously
right.
I chose the right path, and she's made me into the person I am now. Like, she's taught me everything. She taught me how to move out my mum and dad's house. She taught me how to get my first car. She taught me good standards. And I think women, they can slow you down if you're with the wrong one, and they can distract you. You know, a single man, if you're always chasing the women and all that, like I've been like that in the past.
Same.
You can go down these different avenues and it will slow you down massively because you're chasing the woman, aren't you? But when you find someone who's in sync with you, that's when you really start to grow and you get to that next level, because you take away the distractions, you don't think about women anymore, and they give their ideas to you. Like, she's more the calm one in the relationship.
Yeah.
So like, I'm the action taker, the risk taker, but sometimes I can be too reactive where, say, if I get involved with something, I'll speak my mind straight away and it could be like insulting, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is obviously a good thing because you can see you're real, but it can get you in trouble sometimes. But she'll look at two sides, two perspectives of the situation, say, no, I think you should calm down and you do it like this. And that saved me moving forward. So we're both different. We've got a lot of similarities, but we both work hand in hand to make each other grow.
Like, you've both got like opposite strengths that complement each other, aren't you? And it's like, I feel like the woman in your life, the woman you choose as a man, that's your number one investment. That's the main priority. So if that's your star player of the team is your woman. So you want her to be like your PA. You want her to be the voice of reason. You want to be able to trust her. You want to be able to count on her loyalty when things are going up and down, or when you make mistakes to pick you back up. And I think that's what you've got, haven't you? Yeah,
that's it. It's like, I got my first girlfriend when I was 13, you know, so early, and I was with her for 2 years, and, you know, it was a very toxic relationship. You know, I didn't know anything about life or anything. You know, she used to manipulate me. And then I got into doing that with her and stuff without even knowing. And it was, like I say, very toxic. Then obviously she cheated on me. And that just scarred me for the future. So every time I met a girl, I didn't trust them. And I thought, I'm just going to sleep with someone I knew first because, you know, you're going to cheat on me anyway. And that was my mindset, which is mad. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's one of them people with like trauma and difficult times and stuff. It's just about really working on yourself and then you can move forward. But not all girls are the same, you know, same as not all men are the same and not all friends are the same. No. You know, there is real people out there. It's just about, you know, finding them. Do you know what I mean?
Life's like just one big sieve. You've just got to sieve out all the negative people to find people who've actually got your back. But you've got to be able to, like, point the finger at yourself and work on yourself like you did. It got to you to get to a certain point to say, right, I need to stop messing up. I need to sort myself out. And then now, look, your relationship's stronger than it's ever been. And you've got everything that you deserve.
Well, it is. It's like, I don't know if you've heard of the mirror principle before. So mirror principle is basically your life's a mirror image of you, your actions, your thoughts. Yeah. Like, people always say, why is this happening to me? Life's all against me. Things always go wrong. It's because your mindset's wrong. It's replicating what you're actually thinking and feeling and doing on a day-to-day basis, and that's coming out into your life. You're manifesting it. Yeah. Same as if you're vibrating good and feeling good, you might get an unexpected, you know, payment happen to you, or you might get, like, you know, a quicker time on the podcast, because I'm absolutely flying at the minute. Like, I keep getting loads of successes, you know, down to just everything moving forward. So more good things come. You know, they don't stop until you change your mindset, and that's one of the massive things what I changed last year. You know, was going through lows with a business, and I started to point the finger. And I've got a business mentor. I'm sure probably you have as well, or you might have had one in the past.
Yeah, too many.
yeah. So basically, you always blame them because, you know, you're paying them, aren't you? So I'm paying mine a lot of money, but I got to a point where the business declined, and I was in the cycle of beer and all that, like partying, going on holidays and stuff. So it was very obvious. So I was watching pointless stuff when I was doing the Stairmaster in the morning. So it was like fights, you know, like YouTube fights, which are harmless, but it's poisoning your mind from the get-go. You've just woke up and you're watching a fight. It's negative, whether you like it or not. And then before bed, and this one's like not harmless at all, but I'll tell you, It's not pornography, by the way.
Better not be.
That as well.
Mike could go missing.
Yeah. But no, it was Rocky 4 or... Because I love the Rockies. I grew up on the Rockies with my dad and all that, but it was just pointless. It wasn't moving me forward. So basically all day I was watching negative stuff in a way.
Yeah.
And then I was talking negative. And then I was wondered why everything was going backwards. Clients were leaving and, the revenue was going down for the business. And then I was on about quitting the mentorship. It's not working for me. I'm not getting enough support, like blaming others.
Of course.
And then my mentor just said, what are you doing though? And that's all he said. And I thought, I'm not doing anything. I'm not joining the Zoom calls. I'm not doing outreach. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not creating connections. I'm not watching positive things. And then the same day that happened, my brother, Carl, Carl, I think, he sent me a video of Bob Proctor. And that completely changed my life then. Like, Bob Proctor taught me everything, like in terms of how to overcome challenges. And then obviously went into rabbit hole of How to Think and Grow Rich, the book. The book what changed my life completely. And that book alone times my monthly revenue by 4 in the space of 5 months.
Really?
Which was fucking crazy, to be honest. And everything does completely change. Like, I was flying to Marbella, I was going to train with Dorian Yates. I had a spliff with him as well, which was funny, but he's like the Snoop Dogg of bodybuilding, do you know what I mean? So it's like a little tick on the list. So I was doing different experiences, what, I never even dreamed of. And, months before, everything was declining and going to shit, basically.
So what changed? Like, what was the change? What was the shift that you made?
I changed, and it was like, How to Think and Grow Rich. It's, people might read the front of it and think, oh, it's how to get rich. It's not. It's how to tackle hurdles when you're going through low days so you can achieve what you want to achieve. It might be getting rich. It might be making friends. It might be finding a partner. It might be anything. But as long as you tackle the hurdles, because there's always hurdles with life. Yeah. Life's up and down, as you know. But you can stay in that low vibration as long as you want. And that's what I was doing. And low vibration things are like porn, alcohol, cocaine, drugs, speaking to negative people, all these different things. You know yourself because you've been in them sort of situations as well, haven't you? So nothing good happens, and then you start seeing other people like that. Like, I don't even speak to anyone who's not positive anymore. When I'm doing a Zoom call with a new client, they're into the mindset. It's like, fucking hell, this is my mate here.
Yeah,
I don't even know the guy.
Speak the same language, don't they?
Yeah, it's like, I'm into the mindset, yeah. Oh, Bob Proctor, yeah. Yeah, it's like, wow, this is perfect.
People just meet you where you're at, don't you, in life, innit? And obviously when you're on a positive wave, you just attract more positive people. And like that book as well, I've listened to the audio book. I've not read it because I'm garbage at reading, but it teaches you like the power of perception as well. And if you like, it's how you view things. It's like you were saying before about like life being a mirror. It's like how you view stuff. It's like, do you know what I mean? 'Cause you could be going through something negative, but it's not until you take your part in it and say, right, no, it's negative because I'm doing this, and this. Like when you started pointing the finger at yourself, that's when your life changed for the better.
Yeah, well, it was. It's like David Bayer, he's one of the big teachers what I listen to now. I went to America to see him. And he talks about 2 states. So you've got your primal state, where it's like jealousy, fear, anger, negativity, all that stuff. And then you've got your powerful state. Powerful state's where your imagination's going, you're positive, you're feeling good. And he just basically says in terms of that, like, it's about keeping in the powerful state as long as possible. And these different things. It's instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, what am I learning from this right now? And then it changes your view on stuff.
Yeah, it's powerful. I love that. Yeah, so before we were speaking about like the importance of having a good woman and a strong woman. And obviously that comes from you first tackling your like struggles with like sexual desire and things like that. So how important do you think it is that men tackle head on things like lust, things like porn, things like sexual desire?
I think you have to go through the experience. Any experience in life, I think you need to go through it to actually understand how to tackle it, really, to be honest. It's like you mentioned before, a PE teacher who's overweight teaching you how to do PE. Yeah. They're not a representation of what they're actually trying to teach. It's like me teaching how to grow a business when I've never grown one. Yeah. I'm just full of shit, do you know what I mean? So I think you have to go through it. Like, you can study all these courses, do all these books and all that, but the real qualification's life experience for anything to move you forward. Yeah. And I think, obviously, tackling women, go through it, see what you think of it, but just really ask yourself what your why is. What do you want out of life? And really, is it to get with 100 women? Do you know what I mean? And then ask yourself why again and keep going deeper. What's the reason? what you're gaining from it.
I think people just do it as validation. I think men these days, like they think that like, they call it notches on your bedpost. I think the more women they sleep with, the more they feel like a man. But if you're like, I've been through my sleeping around phase, and it never fills that void, because there's always a next night out. There's always a next bit of skirt to chase. There's always a bit of excitement with a new female. But then it's when that excitement fades, and then there's nothing there. There's no character there. There's nothing to build off. There's no that person that we all want it. Let's have it right. We all want that one staunch woman in our corner. Really, do you know what I mean? Even like your biggest players or whatever you want to call them. Like everybody knows the value of having a strong woman. Like even if you learn that from having a good mother in your life, you know, you learn that from like having sisters and like, you know, strong female influences. Like they can literally change your life for the better. So all deep down, anybody wants that. But the longer you stay on that road of chasing meaningless sex and stuff like that, you're just pulling yourself further and further away, and defeating your like ability to be able to pair and bond with someone on a deeper level. I
think the biggest thing, like it jogged my memory there, but the biggest thing what changed me from stop chasing women is finding true love, as corny as it sounds.
Power.
Because then you know what it feels like, you know what it's proper. Like before, it's like finding a job or finding purpose. You're going through anything because you're trying to search for something. But then when you find it proper, that's when you think, I'm too old for all that stuff. I used to have like a list of all the girls I slept with and write their names down me when I was school, because that
hit list.
Like obviously now it's about growing business and stuff, but back then it was how many girls you could get. Do you know what I mean? And the competition in school and stuff, like, oh, he slept with 20 odd, and oh, you've done it. Even in IB for how many girls can you get with? Do you know what I mean? That was the competition. So obviously it changed the focus now to the business, but I've been through all them stages, and like I say, once you meet that right woman, you think, fucking, what's going on there? You know what it's all about, don't you?
It's good though, because, you know, to get it out your system, I think as a man in 2026, if you're still running around, sleeping around, if you've got side chicks and you're having full-blown affairs and all that, mate, you just, one, you're a loser, or two, you're a scumbag, because you're promising someone the world and loyalty and stuff, and really, like, you're going out sneaking around, and, you know, then you can't look around in your life and wonder why you've got no trustworthy and solid connections, because you're not one. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You've got to like you're saying about you attract based on your own behaviour and choices. So if you're sneaking around and sleeping around and lying to the person who you claim should trust you the most, and you can't expect to attract like good men into your life, good business opportunities. Like it all goes hand in hand.
Well, it's all distractions. It's like if you're living two separate lives and you're meeting different women and stuff, it's negative, really, isn't it? Because it's adding stress onto you. So what I've learned as I've sort of got older, even though I'm only 29, the less negatives you have, the more forward you move forward, basically. Yeah. The faster you move forward, the more negatives you have. Yeah. The less negatives you have. So it's one of them. Like, that's why, obviously, alcohol, for me, it slowed me down. It wasn't moving me forward faster, so it's gone. Do you know what I mean? So even people, you know, certain people in life, you have to cut them off, don't you?
Yeah.
Because they're bringing you down. Some people that wear a mask and act like their friend, next thing they can stab you in the back. Do you know what I mean? So people are always trying to slow you down, especially people you grew up with, because they're used to seeing you the same as them. So when you start to grow, they'll come with the sly comments. Like my first mate, who I ever had, like proper mate, I'm not friends with anymore, really, because of certain things. But I remember when I first started training, and I gained 10 kilos, like body weight, because I was only skinny. Like when I used to fight, I was fighting like 57, 60 kilo. Wow. I was always pretty lean in that. And I gained 10 kilos in a month because I just started shoveling everything and got banged into the weights and completely changed everything to do with what I was doing. Yeah. And he used to see me and all that and said, oh, you're not really changed, have you? I thought, where's the 10 kilos gone then?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a dick. Do you know
just
what I mean?
ignoring your progress, basically.
Yeah, ignoring it, but it's because when you go further, they feel uncomfortable, so they have to say things to bring you back to their level. Yeah. That's the way to do it. That's all. And you'll notice that yourself. Because you'll get your biggest fans, because I know you're well known on the internet. You probably don't even know them people. Yeah. And they probably support you more than your mates who you grew up with.
Yeah, it's massive. And you know, every person who I sit down and have a conversation like this with touches on the same thing. Yeah. Because we're all trying to grow. We've all got something in common. We're building something out of nothing. Yeah. Like you left school, no blueprint, no idea. Yeah, you had morals and character traits instilled in you from your parents, which is absolutely amazing. But no one told you how to figure this out and how to build you've got to a quality brand.
Yeah.
And nobody taught you how to build that.
No.
You built it. You built it yourself. Had your own trials and tribulations and stuff. So people who know you should appreciate that. They shouldn't be hating on you, especially when they know that you're a good guy and you've got a good heart and you want everyone to win. Do you know what I mean? You actually help people win for a living.
I know it's one of them, like with a business, obviously I'm learning more about it now and it is like a proper business, but it's just built by love. You know what I mean? It's built by raw passion. Like the last live event, what you come to, like what you spoke at, done it completely for free. You know, it probably cost me about 15, 20 grand. Yeah. Everyone was for free. And, you know, people don't do stuff like that because they think of the business too much where, what am I earning from this? You know, how much am I going to earn? Like retreat, I'm doing a retreat in Marbella. You know, it's not about how much can you earn from these people. It's what impact can I bring to these people? Because that will earn you more money than actually thinking that short piece of validation, as you say. And it'll, you know, it's 10 times more. It's how many lives can you impact, not how much money you can make. And you'll always earn more money than anyone anyway. Yeah. Because you're driving with a positive force, not a negative one.
People want to, like based on my own experience, like based on our relationship, like we've not been friends that long, but it's when people treat you a certain way, like you've always treated me with a certain level of respect and always built me up and encouraged everything that I've doing. So it's a natural feeling to me to want to get you on the show, to want to get you on the podcast. Like you was one of the first names on the wish list that I wrote down just because of the way you've shown up for me. Yeah. And like when you play the long game like that and you feel like how can you positively impact people? Yeah. Because you know it's going to come back to you tenfold, and you know our relationship's living proof, I think.
Well, that's it. It's natural. Do you know what I mean? Because we didn't know each other, we were strangers, like you mentioned the other day. We'd just seen each other in the gym, but obviously you cracked a joke or something like that, and we had a little bit of a, you know, couple of words, didn't we? Yeah, we didn't know each other. And then that was it. And obviously I seen you online, seen you on the EP Jungle thing and all that. And then obviously you started getting big on the Instagram, didn't you, doing the car talk? I remember seeing your car talk and it had like over 1 million views. And I thought, he's speaking sense, him. You know, I like him. Do you know what I mean? So then I thought, I'll ask him to see if he comes to the event. And the thing what obviously I liked most about you is you never asked for anything. You didn't ask for no payment or nothing like that. And I thought, wow, it's like you're just same as me. You like to give back. Yeah. So then obviously when you basically like people who you see something of you in them. Yeah. And then same as you dislike, you know, if you don't like a trait in someone, you don't like them straight away, even though you might not even know them, which is judging, but it is what it is. It's human nature. Yeah. So that's how the bond built, didn't it? And like I say, it's went from there, and we've always kept in contact. You know, we're not like chatting every single day, but, you know, I know you've messaged me a couple of times, I've messaged you, you've messaged me and all that, I've messaged you, and we've communicated out to each other, supported each other, bounced ideas off each other. So we're gaining something from each other, and that's what our friendship is. Yeah. So
I think people need to like take note, not just of this situation here, just like using your social media, like you're saying about strangers supporting you. They don't have to be strangers. Connect with them, build bridges, and actually use your platform instead of scrolling, instead of looking for dopamine, instead of watching fights when you should be watching educational stuff. Like I think the power of social media is so underrated, and I think like our journeys, our paths are completely different, but like we've both built substantial brands, personal brands, businesses, like we've both built followings, like we've both built communities in completely different worlds, completely different backgrounds, just through the power of social media.
And we're both really on the same mission, even though it's different.
Yeah, it just looks different, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're both there to help people. That's the driving force, to help people get out of feeling like shit. Yeah. To put it plain and simple. And, you know, I know you spoke on my Zoom the other day as well, didn't you? So that was good.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure.
And I mentioned, obviously, I sent a voice note to you, but I just feel like you've shifted in a different way. You know, you're more calm, chilled. You just seem happier, to be honest. You seem happier recently.
Yeah, I've got a good woman myself in my corner. That's what it is.
Right. You're getting his treats in there.
Yeah. Finally getting it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but it's powerful when you've got the right people around you. Like, that's one thing about your team. When I think of you, I don't just think of you as a standout figure on your own. I think of Nyla, I think of Sam, I think of Dino. I think of like the team around you. Like, you come as one. You're like a family, do you know what I mean? And I just feel like if you don't come from a big family, you can always create one. Like you can build your own. It's never been easier to build your own communities and your own team of people. Like too many people are moaning about everyone's snakes and fakes and there's no good people. Well, put some good out there, some positivity out there. Try and help some people. You'd be amazed at the people you attract and the communities you built. Like you're saying, like I've got people now I speak to more I've got phone relationships. Like I speak to more in the DMs. Like we're just like back and forth. You'd think we'd known each other years when really we've met like twice.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the power of social media, man. You've got to use it to your advantage.
I think the people who say they're snakes, really, they've probably snake people in their life, because like going on to that mirror principle, I don't go around saying everyone's a snake or anything, because I'm not like that. There is bad people out there, but there's a lot of good ones as well. So I know what you're saying about social media. It's like, say if someone starts doing well for themselves, they'll cut out that human connection. And I think that's the fastest way to grow any business or grow yourself. You need to bond with people. You need to go different gyms, like in my area. You know, I'm going to different gyms. I'm meeting different people. You know, I'm meeting other coaches. I'm doing podcasts. That's the fastest way to scale and grow and move forward. Networking's the fastest way. It always has been. That's what we're born to do. We're born to, you know, communicate, meet each other, you know, reproduce. We're meant to do all that stuff, so just stick to the basics, and that's really going to give you a fulfilled life. It's as simple as that.
I think like you can tell like the measure of a man by his strongest collaboration. Like if you look at a man and you look at his strongest friend, his strongest connection, his biggest link, that's a testament to the type of person that he is. So if you're the type of person who's like surrounded by people who are sleeping with each other's girlfriends, talking negatively about each other, I think that's the mirror again being held up. Like that's because you're that type of person deep down. You're the type of person to snake someone over money or forget where your bread's buttered, or you know, to break somebody's trust, because if they're the kind of people you're surrounded by, then that's you there. Do you know what I mean?
You can tell how someone's living their life by what they talk like on a day-to-day basis. Like no one who I know or speak to does any of that stuff. They're all like speaking goals to me. What's next? Let's go to this gym. You know, me and Sam have an amazing bond. Like I've not even known Sam for that long. I've known him for around a year. He's one of my best mates. Yeah. Which is mental. Yeah. And you go obviously through school and think, oh, you've got a couple of mates here. Like I thought my best mate in school was going to be my best mate forever. You know, and he got in the cycle of, you know, drugs and all that sort of stuff. And you grow apart, you know what I mean? Which is heartbreaking, but you can't carry people. You try and help them, and then you just have to leave them behind, and that's as sad as it is. You don't want to. He'll always be my brother, but it's just a part of the journey. What, you know, I can't have any setbacks, you know what I mean? And you just think you'll never meet other people. As you get older, you think, oh, that's your friends, and, you know. But I've met Nyla later on. I've met Sam later on. I've met Joey and IB for. Like, Joey's my best mate, do you know what I mean? I met him when I was, I don't know, about 25, 24. So I've met all these people later on. So you think, who else am I going to meet? And really, you're meeting people who's vibrating on the same frequency. You is into the same stuff. You sort of get put with your friends in school. You don't really get a choice. You can get a choice, really, but you go and sit next to him, you know, have a bit of a chat sort of thing. You get put, don't you, in school. You don't really select. So that's when you can take the wrong path, like you mentioned. Like I've had times when I've, you know, could have took the wrong path easy. But I've always had like a bit of a gut feeling, nah, don't chill with him anymore. Do you know what I mean? He's not good for you. Like I was on about my mum. She always let me do anything, what I wanted. Do you know, like when I was 15, you know, have a drink. She would never say, you shouldn't drink, you shouldn't smoke, you shouldn't go out the street. She never done any of that, because what that does, it adds resistance towards your mum, and you think...
Rebellion, innit?
Yeah, rebellion, yeah. You're like, why are you telling me that? I'm going to do it more then. So because she was like that, like I used to have a bit of a sip of a drink when I was like 13, 12 and all that. Can I have a taste of that, Mum? Yeah. Oh, it's hanging. Do you know what I mean? On holiday. Yeah. When I was on holiday, when I was about 10 or 11, obviously you get the bird on holiday, don't you? Like the holiday romance. I was only young. She was a couple of years older than me. Yeah. And I remember I was sat on it. I don't know where I was, what holiday, but she was a couple of years older. And I was sat with her mum and dad and her. And obviously it was like I was fully with her. Do you know what I mean? And then the dad was like, are you allowed a pint? I was like, Mum, am I allowed a pint? Yeah. Because she never wanted to like embarrass me, Mum. She always wanted to, you're cool, you can do whatever you want. She used to give me like 100 quid for town when I was like really young, and everyone thought I was rich. Yeah. You know, because I used to chill with the older lads when I was in year 7, and I just got £100 for just to go in town. Yeah. Like, fucking hell, I get loads of money in. But she just used to give me everything. She's like, my dad's just got a normal job, stacks shelves in Sainsbury's. My mum's a care worker. Both got standard jobs, you know, they're not wadded or anything. Yeah. So now it's about giving back, you know, and building a life for them and giving them everything. So that's the mission.
Yeah, that's sick, man. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So I want to touch on loyalty within the business space, because you do mentoring now, don't you? Where you teach other coaches to make money themselves doing what you do. So you're basically handing them down a blueprint that can change their life, their family's life forever. And first of all, I think that's absolutely amazing. So congratulations to that.
Cheers.
But what do you think the importance of loyalty is in that space? Or do you think that like money's always going to win in the end? Because certain people, they get a bit of money and they forget where they come from. They forget who started them off. They forget who actually built them up and helped them when nobody was there. Do you know what I mean?
I think just to give you an overview of loyalty altogether, not just with business, but just with life, I would say a loyal person is someone who does something for you and doesn't expect anything back. That's really what I would say. You know, it's a giver. Because that's a mirror image of me, a giver.
Yeah.
So when you're always doing things and you expect things back, really you're doing it for a reason. It's not really true. So yeah, that's what I would say loyalty is. But in terms of fitness space, you know, what do you mean by that? Like in terms of like working with clients and stuff?
Just how important is loyalty really like in the space, like with your mentees, with your clients? Like they surely, like, I know we don't do things for other people expecting something back, but when you carry yourself a certain way, you expect other people just to be like that because we're like that. Like you don't expect to get bitten on the arse by a snake. You don't expect somebody to sell you out for it or think they're entitled to a certain amount. Or do you understand where I'm going with it?
Yeah, I think with business, what keeps loyalty within the relationship, as you would say, is results. You're always, you know, at the end of the day, if you're paying for a service and you're not getting results, you're not going to be loyal. You're going to go somewhere else. I would do the same. Yeah. Because you want results, don't you? You're paying for it. But just communication as well, building that connection with your client. And that's why I always like to meet clients. And that's why I always put on events, because it's much more than just a payment. Yeah, I get paid for it. The money's great. Do you know what I mean? But that's just how it is. Do you know what I mean? You're paying for an exchange of value. You know, you pay me an amount to grow your business, you're earning well more than you paid anyway. That's a great return. Do you know what I mean? I'm winning for that. You know, I've done the same. But the thing what changed my life really, I know obviously I went through a couple of things with like books and stuff, and you know, it can go back to last year, that turning point when Carl, my brother, he sent me that Bob Proctor, and he basically said about Think and Grow Rich. 10 years before that, he gave me the book The Secret, because he created his own business doing call centres, and he got it up to a good figure. I think he was earning about 10k a month, which is really good. And I remember him coming round to my dad's, because him and my dad have not really been that close like for years. But he come round, he was dressed fresh, like, thought, oh, that's my brother, that, like, my idol, do you know what I mean? Proud, yeah. I always looked up to him and thought, he's coming over here with the best gear on. He looks tanned, he's good looking, he's fresh. Like, I want to be like him. He was my role model, Carl. He still is. And he come round to my dad's and he smashed it with the call centres, and he said, I'm going to be a millionaire. And the certainty what he said in it, my dad was buzzing, and my dad's not really a big believer in anything. He's stuck in his ways. And he said to me, Carl's going to be a millionaire. He's smashing it. And he's buzzing.
Buzzing, man.
Obviously, things happen and all that, and he's on a different path now in terms of like business and stuff. But he's taught me a lot, Carl, and that was the meaning of that sentence there. But he taught me, every time someone started his business, he'd give him The Secret because it changed his life. And I read The Secret, and I read a couple of pages, and I took value from it. But then there was a part in it where it says, like, someone got given £1 million, they thought of £1 million, and they got given £1 million, and it gone through the letterbox. Something like that. Obviously, don't quote me for it. And I thought, load of shit, cracked on, just went through life. And then obviously, it's mad how 10 years later, the same person give me something what changed my life again. Yeah. So it's just them key turning points, in it, what move you forward and make you or sort of break you. But the mindset stuff's changed your life for me.
Do you think it's important to learn from a mentor, to get at someone who's already been through the trials and tribulations, who can, I think coaching for me, I've had some coaches charge me thousands and I've got nothing out of it, literally next to nothing. But it's like any relationship, you try it, if it doesn't work, you walk away, no harm done. You know, even if it just shows you what you don't want. Like, I'd rather pay for the wrong information to know rather than take 5 years to figure out that that's not what I want to do. I'd rather learn it in 5 weeks and think, nah, I'd rather throw money at it to be able to throw the idea in the bin altogether. But I feel like the right mentors and the right people in your life can just elevate you so much. Just having someone who's already been through it, it's just crucial, wouldn't you agree?
We've always had mentors. Like, my dad was my first mentor. I know I wasn't paying him, but he was my mentor. He taught me how to ride the bike. He taught me how to go gym. He taught me how to be on time. You know, he taught me quite a lot. And I'll tell you it's a little story because we like the stories, don't we? So basically, my dad, one of his traits is he's always right. So I got that trait.
Same.
You know, I didn't want to like listen to anyone. I thought I knew everything. You know, I've studied the Arnold books. He's the best bodybuilder ever. I've been taught by my dad. I remember doing lateral raises in flex and tone. And I used to swing the heavy weights up. I was only young. And I was swinging them up, no muscle control or anything. Some guy come up to me. He was just helping me. He said, you want to control them? And I thought, fuck off, you don't know what, I know well more than you. I was only about 15, 16 or something. So, but that mindset carried me up until probably about 21 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he actually thought about getting a physique coach, which was Dave Finnegan. He was my first physique coach. And I was with him for 1 month, didn't listen to anything what he'd done, don't work. I'll just do it on my own because it's got good results on my own. Took me a year later, I signed up with him, followed everything to a T. He got me on stage, I won 2 bodybuilding comps.
Yeah.
So then I was going into a learning mindset. I thought, wow, people actually know more than me. You know, that's an actual thing. I don't know everything anymore. So I changed my thinking. And then after that, you know, I was going through a low with business. This was right at the early days of starting Active Physiques and all, Active Clint it was called then. And I remember getting all the stuff for a grow upstairs. I was going to grow weed. I didn't know how to do it. Like, imagine me trying to grow weed. I don't know what I'm doing. But I got all the stuff. I had it in the loft and I thought, yeah, so start. I have desperate times. I had, you know, below 2K to my name. So I need to like grow this weed. You get a big like wad of money and you'll be all right every sort of so many months. That's what I got told. So I thought, that's the only route to go. And then a mentor messaged me online on Instagram called Mark Coles. And I booked the call with him. I didn't have a lot of money. I knew it was going to cost money. And I didn't want to take the risk. So I got rid of it, didn't do it. But then I was scratching my head thinking about this weed thing. And I thought, I don't know how to do this. Like, it's too much hard work. People don't want to help me who know how to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then he messaged me again. So I booked the call the next time. Ended up joining the call. He said his mentorship, went through all the sales call and all that. He said, I think it was about 8 to 10 grand, something like that. Obviously, I had below 2 to my name, so I didn't have enough money to invest. So he said, you can pay 1,000 now and you pay the rest over the next 2 months. So then I thought, I've got nothing to lose. I'm just in. And then he scaled me, you know, to 10K months after 3 months then.
Wow.
And then by the end of the year, I was on 20K months.
Wow.
And that was just by making one decision. It completely changed my life. And then I was like, I'm 100% a learner. And then now I'm with my mentor called Phil Graham, you know, and he's taught me a lot. And that was the guy when I was at another low last year. What are you doing now? And you get these different people and they all teach you something. I've actually went like one-to-one private with Phil now where I fly over to his house. He's got a big mansion and all that, the nice cars. He's actually building, in his garden, he's building an underwater like spa, an underground spa and everything. So, but it's good, obviously, it's flashy and all that. But what it does, it gets you used to what it's actually like to be successful and the things what you can do. Like I've done times in my life where, you know, I've rented G-Wagons, I've rented sports cars, I've rented yachts just to feel what it feels like because then you can visualize it and then you can mold it into reality.
So the exposure.
The exposure, yeah. You know, sometimes, obviously, a lot of times when I was younger, I was being daft with money and I'd blown a lot, but it did give me the exposure to think, right, I know what a G-Wagon feels like. You know, I can feel it's not too far away. Because it's all visualization, and people get sucked into this thing where it's like, oh, I've read The Secret. You know, you see all these girls like it's a trend. I've read The Secret, Law of Attraction. Law of Attraction doesn't work if you're not vibrating good. Yeah. Law of Attraction's, you know, it's number 2. Law of vibration's number 1. That's the first law, what you need to always stick by, whether you're in a primal state, which is shit state, or a powerful state. You need to be in that powerful state when you're feeling good.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you attract things into your life. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's powerful, man. You've got to, that's what I mean. Like you were saying before, you've got to attract good things into your life. There's a lot of people who sit there on the fence. They don't want to get mentored. They don't want to invest in themselves. They're protecting what little money they have, and they don't want to go all in on themselves. And those are the people that never get anywhere. So if there was somebody sat there now and they were scared to go all in, scared to take a risk, scared to get a mentor, scared of taking that next step, maybe it's because of how other people might perceive them, whether it's, you know, they're scared of failure. Like, what would your message be to them?
I would say if you're scared of loss, you've got resistance toward attraction because, you know, you're not in a receiving state. You're in a fearful state.
Yeah.
You're thinking of what's missing. It's like, I always say to my clients, because your first milestone in coaching, really, a good milestone, it might be 5K, but when you're doing well, it's 10K. Do you know what I mean? So we always set the milestone as 10K. I said, don't think about it in the 10K because you're adding resistance and you're focusing on where you're at now.
Yeah.
So you're in a low state, so you're not going to get to the 10K. Focus on meeting more people, doing the steps in place to actually get attraction towards that money.
Yeah.
Because it's never really about the money. When you've got the money and stuff, it's not actually about the money. It's about the memories, the experiences, the impact, what you do. And that's the thing what makes you more fulfilled. Like, I've had people join my team. They've sent me a load of money at the start and they've give up a couple of weeks after. I don't feel fulfilled. Even though the bank balance went up, I don't feel fulfilled at all. But then on the flip side of that, I've seen people go through a year journey. I had a guy on the team called Wayne. You know Wayne anyway, but he was going through the cycle of drinking a bottle of vodka a night. His missus died of cancer. He was depressed. He didn't want to live anymore. He's got a daughter. She was 18. He didn't want to be here anymore. He didn't go out the house and all that. He was overweight. Year after, 50 pounds down, doesn't drink anymore. He's got a new relationship. And, he's changed his life. And that moment there, that's the most fulfilling bit for me. It's not the payment.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's the impact that you make and seeing the change in other people's lives. Like when someone quits, when you just start helping them, because when people invest in you, you automatically invest in them emotionally. Like people's thinking like it's just a business transaction, but it's not. When you bring a coach in, when you bring someone in, they actually care. You activate something inside of them where it's like it's your duty now to see the potential in them and not only see it, to bring it out of them. So when they quit at the first hurdle, it's disheartening. I've had the exact same thing recently. Somebody sign up, pay for 90 days and quit after 2 weeks. And I'm like, come on, man, you was right there.
I think it's the people what we are, though, because there is thieves out there. There is fraudsters who they are after just the money and they don't know what they're doing. They're good sellers. They can sell what they're doing online, but there's cracks in it. And then, often they get burnt. Like I've had loads of people come onto my mentorship because it's growing every single day now. My mentorship, it's blown up. Yeah,
I've seen it.
Which is great, and now I know anything I do, I can grow. Like that's just a statement what I'm going to make today because the evidence proves it. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I'll get to the evidence and, tricking your mind to think you can do more and stuff in a sec, but I don't know what I was saying then. I was on a bit of a tangent.
No, it's right. He was...
But in terms of so being burnt, so a lot of guys who are in the mentorship, they come to me like with all these negatives about other mentorships, like they're taking 2 weeks to reply to a message, no communication. They've been on the program for a year. They've actually went down in revenue. It's like, what's going on? Like, why do people keep falling for it? It's like, you've probably seen online, join me today and you'll get your first 20 clients in 2 weeks. And if you don't, we'll send you your money back. Who's going to fall for that shit? Like, what are you even on about? Like, it's just a load of crap.
Yeah, there's so many frauds out there online. So what they do is they'll learn a bit of the business stuff. They'll watch the Alex Hormozy videos. They'll learn the free game off YouTube. Then they'll say words like systems and programs and this and that. So you think they're intellectually a lot further along than you. And all they've really done is they're using a chatbot AI and used on YouTube. Then they reach out to like a big influencer client who's already got a business model running and say, we'll take it from, let's say it's at 20K to 30K. They'll do that because they'll just see the cracks in the business. Take that, like help them scale their business over, let's say it even takes 6 months. Then they get to take all the credit and go, this is our client and then you look at this client model that's got 1 million followers, a 30 grand business, and you think, wow, they've helped him do that. When really they didn't build anything. They didn't build nothing. They've come in, they've made it look fluffy and made it look a bit better and improved the business. But they're trying to take the full credit, and what they do is they rake loads of people in who actually want those results too. And it's like a Ponzi scheme. They just get you in, get you on the conveyor belt, keep you as long as they can, drain as much money out of you as they can, and then there's no deliverables. There's no receipts at the end of it for the success, that they promised you.
Well, that's it. It's like one of my clients, Ola. He joined a mentorship and, it was like 250 rolling for the year or something like that. And then he was saying it was crap. He said he wanted to leave and he wanted a refund and didn't want to do it anymore after like a couple of weeks. So basically said he can't do that. They got him on a call and they upsold him. He's paying 500 a month now with an improved service and you get XXXX. He's getting nothing more. Nothing more, but they obviously they con men. Do you know what I mean? And they've conned a young lad. You know, he's only 19. Do you know what I mean? They've conned him into being fixed into a contract, double the price, getting the same service. And I know, obviously, when you do get a mentor or you work with a transformation coach, it is a two-way thing. You can't just sign up and you're going to get the dream body or the big business. You need to put the work in. 100%.
Yeah, you have to put the graft in, definitely.
It is. So obviously it can be ways where it might be a little bit of a two-way thing, but the moral of the story is nothing's really shifted from the 250 price, you know, but it's double now. And there's loads of people like that out here.
It's all marketing. It's all like one big... There's big PR stunts out there.
Yeah.
So these businesses, like I've been subject to it too. I fell for it too. I fall for the glitz and the glam and the million followers and the guy and they're talking millions and they're talking this.
Yeah.
And they wear a suit on all the videos and you think, he knows what he's talking about because there's nobody.
That's what I would, isn't it?
So I look around at like where I come from and think, no one dresses like that, no one speaks like that, no one goes on the holidays like that. He must be the real deal. So then it's you'll be working directly with me. Then you come in, you pay the payment up front, and then within a week, you're being handled by an Indian or Chinese tech team, and you're like, who were trying to help you build a business, and all they're really doing is like starting up your goal high level, making you a funnel, you know, little just small things that you can learn off YouTube yourself. But what they do is they rope you in with this big marketing strategy, which is the guy at the front. Yeah. And then they just filter you back to the back of the queue. Like, there's no one really, like, there's just so much of that going on online. And I fell for it a couple of times.
Have you?
I'll openly say that. Like, I've spent shitloads and got next to no value, but I'm not afraid to keep going, to keep starting again and keep trying and trying and trying until I get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's my mentality. Like, if everything collapsed, like if the cameras stopped working tomorrow, if you know what I mean, if microphones were at an all-time shortage, like I would find a way to do something like this.
Well, that's the resilient mindset. That means you know you're going to be successful because you're willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what happens. Luckily for me, I've not really had any mentors what have been rubbish. Both my mentors have been amazing, to be honest.
Make you sound good.
So I've landed on my feet. Like
shout out to them.
Yeah, I know. Like my first mentor, he taught me a lot. You know, he taught me it was just a small tweaks what I needed, really. Small tweaks, and it really had a big impact. And you know, I seen him over time. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like I just seen him online and I thought, oh, they look all right. I've seen him time and time again for years, and they say only 20 years in the business. Then I'm looking at things like I do, like the research sort of thing. In terms of, I don't like go and hire someone from America who I've never heard of or anything like that, even though I did go and see David Beyer, but I've read his books, I've watched his podcast and all that. And do you know who David Beyer is?
No.
Oh, he's a legend. So one saying, what I'll give you is one I always use, to be honest now, but it's like, you know, desire. So you need your desire to achieve anything. Like, what do you want to achieve? Plus non-resistance. So you can't have any resistance towards moving towards your goal, whether it's, you know, drugs, alcohol, porn, negative people, your own thoughts saying you can't do it. Is there any resistance towards you achieving the goal? If you say yeah, then obviously that's why you've not achieved it yet. But if there's no, or you've removed it, then you'll always get your desired outcome. So knowing that formula in life, it really puts your actions into perspective and your decisions. And even when you go through low days, you could just ask yourself, what resistance have I got right now towards moving towards my goal? And you can write them down. And once you're aware, that's when you can change them and move forward, can't you?
Yeah, it's powerful because like people think like watching this, like they'll be thinking like, I need to add something, I need to add something to grow, to get stronger, to whatever, to accelerate in business, to get better people around me, when really it's just a removal process. If you took all the things, like all the resistance, let's call it, out of your life, including the people that cause it to or encourage it to, like you just be amazed at the growth that you get, like, and how fast you start flying forward towards your goals. Do you know what I mean?
I think the biggest resistance is your own mindset on a day-to-day basis. You need to think how many negative thoughts you have. And I don't mean suicidal thoughts, I just mean negative thoughts about situations. Yeah. If something doesn't go right, you know, for example, if you're trying to grow a business and you've got, you know, a certain record, what you want to hit by the end of the month, and you're miles away from it, how much resistance have you got then? How much self-doubt have you got then? You think, I'm never hitting that, I can't earn that in that time to hit that target. So you're never going to do it. Really, the biggest resistance is in yourself. And when you can sort yourself out, that's when you truly do move forward. And that's what I done last year, you know, and I'm still a working project. Yeah. I've got loads of cracks, you know, but I can be more open now when I talk to people and say about situations and say about past experiences and say about all the times that I've fucked up, because I'm well not there anymore. Do you know, I'm past that person. And I think you need to hide stuff really, or feel like you need to hide stuff when you're still going through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've noticed since stopping alcohol, I'm a lot more open with like old stories and everything, especially online, because I feel like it makes you more personalised and relatable, and people think, yeah, he's a coach, you know, he's a mentor, but he's not perfect. He's lived a life as well, and he's made the fuck ups, and you know, he's a working project just like me.
I think people buy into you as a person. Like everybody thinks about like the product itself. Like anybody can get you in shape. Like there's so many online coaches that can get you in physical shape, that can get you, but they've got to be relatable. They've got to be able to be approachable. You've got to be able to feel like they'll meet you where you're at and you know, and help you grow and stuff. And I think you've got a very like relatable persona. Like you are. Not only have you got the deliverables too and the results too that are so loud and scream positivity all over the show, from the business to the physical transformations, all of it aboard. Like you go onto your page straight away and you know you see what you're gonna get. There's no hiding. You know what I mean? The results are undeniable. But you as a person as well, I think you're approachable. You know you're not afraid to say certain things. Like You've pulled me on a couple of things over the times, you know what I mean, and told me, well, you can't keep doing that if you want to be doing this, and you know, you want to stop, like when I've been going out drinking or something like that, or you know, in the past, and then you've popped up and thought, oh shit, here's Clint, you know what I mean? Because you know, you've got that thing, you've got that persona about you, and it's good, man. It's powerful. I think it's very important to like find someone who you relate to. Do you know what I mean?
You only feel down from stuff when you're not meant to do it. I think.
Guilt.
You only feel guilt and down if you're not meant to do that, if you're on a different path than where you actually want to be. It's like drinking for me, like over the past sort of 2 to 3 years before I fully stopped, I never wanted to drink, ever. I never said like, right, let's get on the beers, we're going out tonight, or plan a night out with my friends or anything. It always used to be spontaneous because I never wanted to do it. It was always like, oh, I'll meet Joey in Trafford Centre. Next thing, we're on the bar. Do you know the middle bar in Trafford Centre?
Yeah.
Just getting, like, fucked, to be honest. Oh. And it was always like that. You know, and that might turn up into 2 days. You know what I mean? So it was never ever planned. And that's how I knew, like, I was on the wrong path. And then you're living in regret the next day. And then, you know, you can't post because I always post motivational videos to my clients and stuff. I can't post that. Like when I went to Dubai, like a good few years ago now, I was going out all the time, you know, multiple times a week. I was always rough. And I just didn't feel true. I remember once I was walking in the desert, because there's all deserts over there, isn't there? And I went to do a video because obviously, you know, that's what I do. I couldn't even speak because I thought, I'm talking shit on here, me. Like, and I couldn't post it, and I just didn't. And I thought, yeah, it's not for me, all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because you always have to be true, don't you?
Yeah. If your behaviour doesn't align with what you want to do, like, you know, deep down, like, it's your conscience, like, telling you, like, you need to pack that in. Do you know what I mean? And the longer you ignore it, the longer it just holds you back. Like you're saying, you basically, it's self-imposed resistance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you're making poor choices, and they're counterproductive to you and what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? And then see me, like, if I do something that's counterproductive, like I'll say if I was going to go out for a couple of days or whatever, like, because I speak on camera so much, it's like, I don't even want to see anyone and speak to anyone. And if anything, it's not fair on them, because I get messages all the time about people saying, I needed to hear that today.
Yeah.
You don't know how much I needed to hear that. Your videos, please don't stop. Like, do you know, like all the feedback, you probably get some yourself, and it's like, knowing that I'm taking away from those people for my own selfish needs because I want to go out and have a blowout, as everyone likes to call it, when there's there's no such thing as a blowout. I don't think that, and the people that try and speak balance and blowouts and all these things that dull your uniqueness into your life, I think you need to get rid of those people as well.
There's no balance if you want to be successful. It's bullshit, all that balance stuff. You know, you have to be militant. You know, with me, everything's like I'm a robot. If it's not a robot, my head goes. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel comfortable about that. You know, I'm training at the same time every single day. My meals are on point. You know, I'm doing the same things on the weekend. Obviously, I have things planned in, but my month's scheduled already.
Yeah.
Everything's like a machine, and that's how you need to be. There's none of this, I'm just going to go for a few drinks on the weekend, or I'm just going to go for a coffee with my mate and, you know, waste some time. None of that. It's either business chat moving forward, or, you know, we've seen a bit, you can go and chill with someone else. That's all it is.
I think free time itself is where all the dangers is, because that's when boredom sets in, and when you're bored, that's when it leads to like certain behaviours and certain groups of people, and then someone can ring you and catch you off guard when you've got a few hours to kill and say, "Oh, do you fancy just popping in here?"
Yeah.
And before you know it, you've popped out, mate, and you've stayed out, and you know, and it ruins your growth and your potential. And you know, the people who are shouting you out in your free time, they don't care. No, they don't want to. They don't really want to see you grow. They're happy. Some people will watch you go down the slide and the slope to nowhere with their hands in your pockets. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's have it right, innit, bro?
That's a good one. With the hands in the pockets. Never heard that one before.
Both hands in your pockets, mate. Wallet open.
Yeah, I've had that before. But yeah, like I say, I think even when I was going on the stages and stuff and doing, because ever since obviously I was younger, I've always done different things to try and get my confidence up. So whether it's like buttering the buff, going to IB for, you know, going on TV, whatever it was. And I always used to think alcohol was the confidence booster, but it wasn't. It was the remover. You know, it makes you less of what you are. People think, oh yeah, I'll have a couple of beers, I'm Larry and I can act out and all that sort of stuff. It's not. It actually dims you, and then you start thinking you need that. It's like, even when I was speaking on the stages, when I've done the events, you know, I wasn't fully sober. You know, I was drinking sometimes and stuff like that. So that affected my confidence, because I'm teaching people how to live the life. And, you know, you're going on benders and stuff. Yeah. So then it affects your confidence in a different way. But now, when I get back on that stage, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bloody tear it up. I've done all right in the last one, to be fair. It was good. But each time, it's just self-development. And each time you learn about yourself and you have to remove something, it's like every new level is a new devil. You know, and that's how you move forward, don't you?
I like that. Every new level, there's a new devil. Yeah, 100%.
There's always a new challenge every single time you step forward.
So how important do you think self-belief is? Because I think like believing in yourself is like the key to going anywhere in life.
I think it's number one. It's above anything. Like, obviously, I speak about my upbringing again. When I worked that normal job, it was the best thing since sliced bread. Don't quit that job, son. It's the best thing ever. It's a really good job. That there's no jobs, you know, there's not many jobs out there anymore. That's obviously what you've probably grown up with. Yeah. It's hard to get a job and all this sort of stuff. And then when I got into the job, I realised how shit it was. And I just wanted to try things. And I used to always go around to my nan and granddad's, and I used to say, oh yeah, I'm going to go and do a model. I'm going to go and tell her. I'm going to go and do this. Do you know, all these mad ideas? Because I've always had a good imagination. That's what's obviously made me who I am. And as I got older, because you have the big imagination when you're a kid. When I was like 16, 17, it never grown up. I still had the same imagination. I thought, whoa, I'm different than everyone else. Like, I was speaking about my ex-best mate, James. He had an amazing imagination when he was younger. And then when we adult life, his imagination faded. It was a non-believer. I was a believer. Yeah. So I never changed. But when I went around to my nan and granddad, my granddad used to always put me down every single time I said I wanted to do anything, like something negative every time. But probably looking back, it was probably just how they like got brought up. Same as my mum, you know, when are you going to grow up, Clint? I remember saying that. And then when I said about being a PT when I left school, there's no money in PTing. And I remember like when I was on holiday and I hit my first 20k month, I thought there's no money in PTing. Because I thought, I'm fucking going to prove you right. But I went into that with sort of, she's against me. But really what she was trying to do, she was trying to protect me and, you know, give me a good life. You know, and it's how you look at things as well. Like, my mum's given me everything and she just wanted me to be safe. She thought that normal job was the way to go, and that's it. Because she don't know any PTs. She don't know anyone who's, like, really welfare, successful, handsome, good-looking. I'm just describing myself here, but I'm joking. No, I'm only joking. That was just a mess about. But, like, she doesn't know anyone like that, so that was completely not normal for her. So anything not normal to anyone, even yourself, anyone here, it's like, no, it's a bit weird that. Like, you can't do that. You have disbelief, don't you? Yeah. So
you can't expect somebody to see your vision as well. And like we was going back to what we were saying before about the law of exposure, like your mum and like our parents, like for anybody watching, like you got to understand your parents haven't been exposed to the things that you have, so they don't see the possibilities in your vision. All they want to do is protect you naturally, so they're going to tell you not to go for certain things. They're going to tell you to pull back on your spontaneous ideas and to not go all in and go all out on certain things, and tell you it's a bit of a risk and speak fear into your dreams and goals. And I think it's important, like, to not listen to your parents, as mad as that's going to sound, like, and to listen to people who try and speak fear into your dreams. I think You've got to be like, right, no, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to roll the dice on it. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just keep rolling until something sticks. And, you know, our parents don't come from that sort of mentality and that sort of mindset where you can just keep rolling the dice. Like, you have like a structure and like what your life's going to look like, and you've got to follow the plan, and anything off that plan is too risky. Don't do it. Do you know?
It's mad because, like, I always thought, where do I get my ambition from? And my dad's dad, my granddad, he passed away when I was 2, but, you know, he used to drive the big ships. He was a professional wrestler, you know, went to America and stuff like that. He owned a corner shop. He owned a house. He had a couple of cars. You know, he was ambitious, do you know what I mean? So I got it from him. And then obviously, you know, my daddy's more fixed in his ways. He's got a lot of good traits, but he's fixed in his ways. But to be honest, when I did come up with the ideas, my dad never really said you can't do it. He always said, don't think anyone's better than you, Clint. He always brought me up like that. And, you know, my mum was supportive as well, but she was more like, come on, get a grip now. Like, what are you on about this time? And because it was just words at the time. And then when you start to move forward into it, like my mum now, she said, yeah, you proved me wrong. You know what I mean? Like, she's the one screaming at my competitions at the front and all that sort of stuff. So it's one of them. It's like you learn more things. And when you said about the imagination and stuff, it's like, if I knew what I know now about like the mindset and stuff, like, I would have been so further ahead. But I've always been using it, you know, just believe in yourself, because I know anyone can do anything, but I feel like you're born with it in a way. I don't feel like, you know, everyone's got that gift.
Yeah, no, and I feel like life as well has a big impact on it, because a lot of people just roll over after life's hit them too many times.
Yeah,
they just roll over and accept what it is, and they're just right, rather than they just settle in loads of areas. And you can tell by looking at certain, especially men. If you look at a man, you can tell whether he's settled in his relationship, whether he's settled in his career. You look at his body from walking toward. You can tell a settler when he's walking towards you. You think you give up on yourself ages ago. It's sad to see. Do you know what I mean? But I just think they could change it if they really wanted to. But with no belief, it's almost impossible. You've got to believe in yourself. Not only that you can do it, that you should do it and you deserve it. You've got to believe in yourself that you deserve it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it starts with you as a believer. And then you get people who believe in you, and then you form a team, don't you? And then that's called the Mastermind Alliance. Yeah. So it's when obviously 2 or more minds are on the same mission. They want the same thing. And that's a bigger driving force then, because, well, 2 or 3 or 4 brains are better than one, aren't there? But it all starts with one person every single time. You know, and that's all you need.
Yeah, 100%. And it's important, like you were saying before as well, like when your phone rings, it's always about the future. It's always about goals. Like, I'm the exact same. Like, I protect myself so much from gossip. Like, you could never in a million years phone my phone to speak badly about somebody else.
Nah.
You can't gossip. You can't phone to talk about something completely irrelevant to what's going on. You can't even ring me to talk about certain sports and stuff, because I've got no interest in it. It's either growth, progress, you know, positivity, giving somebody the flowers, speaking an opportunity, business, mindset, whatever, like something, planning the future, or I don't want to hear it. Yeah. And that's just how that's just the, like, most people, like, you know, when someone's name flashes up on your phone, you look at it and you know what conversation it's going to be. Therefore. So stop answering the phone to negative people and people who talk shit about other people. It's not hard. Do you know what I mean? You got to start there, man.
It's a couple of words can fully change how you think about that day or how you feel. And then that's a knock-on effect then if you let it. It's like you could have something happen in the morning. You know, you have a little bit of a bump in your car. If you're dragging that on, you know, you're going to have a bad day. Like, I remember when I was in McDonald's, I was just getting a double espresso because I don't eat that shite. But I was getting the double espresso before the gym, and the guy behind me must have been on his phone, was going through the drive-thru, and he bumped into the back of my car, and I thought, wow, first time I've ever been bumped in my full life here. And the guy was shitting himself. Do you know when someone slides down because they're like scared because they think, oh, this guy's going to go mad here now?
Yeah.
So I didn't, you know, I just come out of the car, and then he was like acting nervous and all that. I had a look at it, no damage. He said, I said, is there any damage on the car? He's like, no. I was like, have a good day then, mate. Bye. He's a guy. I'm not here to do all that stuff. Yeah. Like getting claims and all that, ruining your day because you've bumped me. Like, you've made a mistake. I don't care. I'm not dead. Just crack on with your day.
You could have dragged it out all day.
I could have got a claim, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Could have got a claim easy, like rubbing my hands together. But that's a negative. That's a negative then. You know, it's a greed emotion, innit?
You're keeping that situation alive, that negative situation, whether it is just a little altercation, bump, whatever, something small. you're keeping that situation, that negative thing alive by keeping energy in it, keeping the phone calls going, keeping the case going on, when really if you just choose to let it go in the moment, like how lighter do you feel? You feel better, don't you? Like walking forward.
You get over it straight away. It's like anything. If someone owes you money, if someone, a client wants to leave, for example, you just knock it on the head as fast as possible. Come up with a solution. I've heard of other coaches like taking them to court and all this stuff. Fuck all that.
Mad.
Like, you want the money. You want to actually get paid for what you've done with that client. But at the end of the day, you're just dragging it all out. You're dragging it to days when it could have just been done in a couple of seconds.
I say it all the time, like, I'll push anyone, but I won't drag them. Like, it get to a point where if you don't want it for yourself, then that's all I need to see.
Yeah.
Like, you can push and you can push and you can pull and you can drag people and you can try and show them the best possible way, but if they don't want it for themselves, you're just hitting your head against the wall, and it's only a matter of time before they quit. And then you've wasted all the time, you've invested all the time that you're never going to get back, that you could be investing into, let's say, your missus or your friends or your circle or your team. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it drags you down, doesn't it? It drags you down with the people you work with. If someone's always complaining, making excuses every time you're having contact with them, you're just thinking negative. You're like opening the check-in, for example, thinking, I can't be asked speaking to this person today. I know what it's going to say without even saying it. You could just copy and paste the same message to them every week because you know what they're going to say. And then that's an energy drainer then. And then you're not liking your job, or you're thinking, dread Mondays. I love Mondays. I always think if you hate Mondays or hate a certain day, or you get excited about Friday, for example, 9 times out of 10, you're not living the life what you're supposed to be living. Because you shouldn't really get excited about a certain day. You should feel fulfilled most of the days. I'm not saying, obviously, you need to wake up positive every single day, because I don't. You'll get lows, you'll get highs, but I'm more high, definitely, than I am lows. And you can do key things what get you in a good state. Do things what you love and enjoy. Going on nature walks, doing affirmations, getting in the ice bath. I do them things for a reason, to get me. They're all state builders.
Yeah.
It's like your nervous system's obviously the main thing what controls you. Do you know what I mean? It's when you have a confrontation with someone, your nervous system's shocked. When you lift massive in the gym, nervous system's down. You don't feel too good. You feel negative. You can get your nervous system back to a good state by doing breath work, by doing ice baths. And then, you're back feeling good again.
Making healthier choices, basically, innit?
Yeah.
So I want to touch on men and men's mental health in particular, because I know it's like a trending topic at the moment with Men's Mental Health Month, and I feel like it changes every other month. Like, I swear it was in November last year, and now we're in June. And I just feel like it's for clip-worthy content, but in hopes to like affect men in a positive way and help the men watching, like, what do you think men struggle with the most, like, in recent times? Like, what do you think at this moment in time men struggle with the most?
Probably feeling out of place, same as everyone else. It's not just, men's mental health. I would say it's the world's mental health down to technology. It's a very common thing. We're more aware of it now because there's social media. Everyone's comparing themselves to others who have probably fake lives, to be honest. Like, you see the youth, it all starts with the youth, doesn't it? Everything. So they don't know how to speak to people anymore. They don't know how to communicate. They might as well have a neck brace on because their head's pointing down to the floor because he's super glued to the phone. It's mad. Like, they're trapped in the rooms. Bring back the days of playing Kirby with your mate and knocking on, and he's going to be out after his tea and you're waiting outside, awkward. You know what I mean? It's just a totally different world, and I think it all stems from there, because you need to think, if the kids are like that, what are the adults doing? They'll be just chucking the kid a phone. Oh, just go on that. Distract you for a bit. So it's all negative things in it, and they're probably, the mum and dad's probably watching the news and all that bullshit, which is all lies. And then it's just a repetitive cycle of that. I think key things what you need to get out, the bad mental health, I would say, is look after yourself, start with the food. That's number one for me. Start with the food. You don't need to go gym if you don't want to, because not everyone likes lifting weights, do they? But do something active. It might be a walk in the morning. The best wake-up call you can ever have is not a slap in the face. It's not cold water in the morning like mum used to tip over me sometimes. But it's just basically getting some movement in. Hydration, electrolytes, going on a walk. And, they're all mood boosters. They make you feel good. Too many people, probably the average routine, what I would say, just to give you a snapshot of, is waking up late, probably scrolling on your phone, the e-cig probably in the bed straight away. you know, all these different things, probably watching something on the telly like the news. They're all, you know, you're starting your day on a negative, aren't you? So I think it's about changing your focus and then you'll get a different outcome, basically.
Yeah, so it's basically like what they're exposing themselves to, really. They're putting themselves in like a negative state through the choices that they're making, aren't they, really? Most men are choosing like comfort and distractions and e-cigs and, you know, things that, right, you know, going outside's free, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can go outside, it's free. It costs absolutely nothing. And if you get up and do it early enough, you're outside in fresh air, just getting your mind right before the world wakes up. And I think that's a powerful thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think where it all goes wrong for a lot of people is, you know, you go to school, you leave school, you've probably got some ambition there. Then you get into the partying, that becomes normal. You go out when you're 18, all that. You know, that's like the normal average person's living in it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, by the time you're 30, you're still in that cycle. You know, you're still on the packet. You know, you're still creeping about, you know, hiding it from your missus and all that sort of stuff for most men. And really, when you think about it, you're just living an unfulfilled life. You could have been this, and now you're having the coke, the beer, you know, you're watching the porn. You're doing all these things to distract you from your life, what you've actually feel like you failed, to put it deeply, to be honest. That's what I think anyway. Because you need to think all the biggest drinkers in the world, they're not happy. They live for the weekend because the life's that shit in the week. You know, that's what I said about, I love Mondays. I'm never down on a Monday. I think, wow, buzzing. It's Sunday today. I get to go to my ice bath at Fix in Manchester. I'm going to be setting up for the week, flying. I'm ready to track some new goals. I'm ready to meet some new people. I'm ready to go some new gyms. You know, I'm getting ready to get some new clients. I'm ready to see some more results. So it's always about building excitement. And I think that's the fastest way to get out of a negative state. Plan stuff for the future, plan holidays, and have things to look forward to. Otherwise, you'll be looking forward to the weekend the same as everyone else.
Just escaping a life that you should be working on, innit?
Yeah, that's all it is. It's a distraction, like you said.
So do you think, like, so for anybody watching who's just at the wit's end with their life, who keeps us trying to escape every week, who's got the wrong friendship group, so to speak, and people encouraging them to do all of those negative things, like, what would your advice be to somebody like that?
Nothing changes until you change. It's as simple as that. You know, you could just take that and stick it onto your forehead. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Nothing's ever going to change until you change. Like, people always try and think something's going to happen magically one day. It's not. It's not going to happen. If you're going to the gym and it's not working, sorry, mate, it's never going to work. You know, if you've got this business idea and your business isn't growing and you're doing it, it's not going to work ever. You're either growing or you're dying. It's as simple as that. There's no maintaining all that. Oh, I'm just maintaining my physique. What are you on about? You're not, because you're aging. So you're declining your dick. Do you know what I mean? So you're either moving forward or moving back with anything in life. And I think a lot of people, they're delusional and they accept it to make themselves, they'll tell themselves lies to make themselves feel good a lot of the times, because it's a lot easier than telling the truth, innit?
Yeah, 100%. And like, that's it just keeps tying back to me, for me, to the people around you, the influence, because the people around you influence you the most. So if you're like around people that are encouraging you to go out all the time when you're nowhere near where you want to be. So if you're speaking goals and you're speaking success and you're speaking about getting in shape, and the people around you aren't encouraging it and encouraging you to do things that take away from that, I think it's really important just to start saying no.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I had that from young. You know, my best mate, James, we had loads of good memories. We'd done everything together. He didn't have any like fitness goals or anything like that. He had moments in the gym and stuff, like, but I started the gym then, and I didn't want to go on the piss every single week, you know. So, but every time I said no, oh, you're boring, you know, you don't do this. The guilt trip, then you feel bad on him, so you go out again, and then you're in regret. And I wanted to get past my 100 kilo bench, and I thought, I'm not going to drink myself there. I'm stuck on 100 kilo for 2 years down to that. So every time, you know, I knew something needed to change to get a different outcome. And, well, it's anything what's not going good in your life, just look at the evidence. It's in the past. Anything what's not worked, it's not going to work. So you need to change it then. And I'm not on about like these people who change the workouts every single week, or change the business plan every single week, or change the friends every single week, because that's just stupid. Some things do take time. Like, look at my business. It took 7 years to get where it is now, you know, and it's still nowhere near where I want it to be. So it's a continuous thing. There's been loads of times when I've had pretty much no money in the bank. You know, I've been worrying about money and all that sort of stuff and got loans and stuff like that. But I always knew it was going to work out. You know, no matter what happened, I always knew it was going to grow, move forward and be successful.
Yeah, it's the power of belief again, innit, man?
Yeah.
It's good.
Like, people always try and, like, look for the next best thing. But it's not about the next best thing. It's about doing the basics on repeat. It's like gym. It's like business, like David Bayer. He done, so I went to see him in America, like, probably about 2 months ago now. So I've flown over to, seeing this guy. It was when, obviously, I was getting off the beer and that. I wanted to stop and all that because last year, I put it on Instagram. I'm off the beer, teetotal. Then 2 months into it, went to Bali, on the piss all the time. That opened up the door then because I thought, I always had the door open with a drink. So I thought, I'm never not going to drink when I go away on holiday in the sunlight. That's my happy place. So it was always like a door open. So I went to Bali, come back. I thought, I'm going to go this party or have this drink anyway because I was drinking last week. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Then you're back drinking back home. Do you know what I mean? So I announced it and obviously flopped it basically. And then this year, I didn't flop it. I done it.
So you're using like your social media to keep you accountable, innit, basically?
I was, yeah, but it was just complete lie. Do you know what I mean? But I felt it at the time. Like I said, I never wanted to drink, but it was like, you know, your circle, all that sort of stuff. So I see Nyla sent me this guy called David Bayer, and he was battling addictions and all that. And I think it was like weed. And I've actually got something for you, which is linked to that. So I can get it out now.
What weed?
Yeah, I got some weed. I know you said you don't read, but you should read this. It's A Change Mind by David Bayer. So that's my gift from you today, for you today, should I say, because he's been through obviously a lot of struggles. You know, there's a story in there which is pretty funny. Like, he was always on the weed and stuff, and then he actually wanted to get rid of the weed. He was always on the porn, and he thrown the weed in a back of a garbage truck because he's American, and he was that addicted. He jumped in the garbage truck to get the weed and make a spliff. You know, so it is funny. It like captures you straight away because you think it's relatable, it's real. Not that we've jumped in garbage trucks, but, you know.
Done a lot worse.
Yeah, that's done some other things. But, yeah, so it's relatable, but he talks a lot about the mindset. It's really good. And I was consuming his content for ages because you know yourself, like, the biggest selling point's watching long-form content. That's why we're doing the podcast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It builds trust because you can't fake a podcast. It's real. It's all you. It's not like a short reel where you can pretend to be someone else or,
Yeah.
right, I'm going to look really good for this. It's all real, this.
Yeah.
So I watched all his YouTubes. There was absolutely 10/10. He was speaking sense. He was moving forward. And then he was saying about this event on there. So I thought, wow, powerful living experience. I want to go that. And last year, I said I wanted to take Active Physiques to America. So it's a lot of attraction happening. Ooh. So I flown over to America. So I went to Texas for a week and then Miami. Sick. Miami was just like Spain, like on steroids, really. And it was absolutely 10/10 and made loads of good memories. And it was the first time, because it was early on, it was the first time going away in a nice place like that. I didn't have one single drink. And I thought, yeah, I'm powerful now. I can do this all the time. I've been away loads of times since then and not drank, but I went to see him in person, and honestly, it was like a wormhole of different feelings. So, you know, we was all dancing about, because Americans, they do it different, don't they?
Yeah, they're nuts, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got the most confidence ever. So went in there, it was like, I'm going down, I'm going timber. It was that song going in there, and it was these two guys just dancing about with the rips, and I thought, you know, what's this all about here? Yeah, but there's so much going on here. So we just sat down in the back, obviously feeling a bit awkward, but we thought we're ready for it, you know, ready for the experience. It was 3 days, intense event, mindset development. It speaks about religion as well, a lot about religion, different ones though, because they're all similar. Yeah. They've all got the same message in a different way. Yeah. I've learned quite a bit about religion down to him. Yeah. I'm not like probably as in-depth as you, but he's good with that stuff. So I've done the 3-day living experience and learnt loads, and it was even doing a meditation thing, and it was like... It was mad, you know, like the proper breath work, meditation. Nyla was crying, I was crying. I was thinking loads of mad things like visions and all that. And I just felt proud of myself that I'd come that far at that time, because I was like, wow, all them people who I've like let down, hurt over that long period of time, down to the drink, all the mistakes I've made, it all come crashing down at that moment in time. And I felt like a sense of sort of relief that I've got to this stage in my life. And I thought, yes, So obviously I was crying and all that, but you don't want the women to see you cry. I don't anyway. So I had Nyla pretty much in an headlock, like put my head over her so she couldn't see the tears and that. And then some guy come over, proper nice guy, come over and was sat down and went, "You used to really get each other's, don't you?" I was yeah, because he's seen it. Obviously, it's all love in that room, like loads of 1,500 people all love. Like
1,500,
1,500,
wow.
He's impacting lives. He's like God.
Yeah.
To be honest, so I obviously have my beliefs on God. I think God's in us. I think we are God. I think God's the mind.
Right.
That's why He can move it. So it was good. And then obviously I've flown to Miami and just had a bit of a chill, really. Obviously it was working and stuff because they always work, but it was a good experience to say the least. So David Bayo, I've give that book to you.
Yeah, mate, I'm buzzing, man. I never get gifts. So any guests or future guests, yeah, or anybody, yeah, this is a benchmark. You've got to come with a
Bring
gift.
the gift.
Bring the gifts on the episode from now on. This is a benchmark. Clint set the benchmark. Powerful book.
Yeah.
What are you gonna bring me? I'm buzzing with it, mate. Appreciate the book, man.
Right,
fucking buzzing, man.
Good
I never get gifts. So yeah, like before we wrap it up, I just want to touch on a few things. Like obviously you've come a long way. You come from a similar background to me. You could have gone down the wrong path multiple times. You talked about nearly growing weed when your business was flopping and stuff like that. When really the problem was you. Yeah. You was the problem, weren't you, really? So
always.
When you took accountability, that's when your life started to change. So that person now who was on the brink of growing weed, who was not taking the blame for all the mess that he'd made, like if that person now could see you sat here today on a podcast doing what you're doing, business flying, surrounded by top people, like what do you think they'd think of you now?
Proud of me, and I think the past really, I don't have any regrets. You can think of different experiences, what you've had, like mistakes you've made and think, I regret that. But they all have a connection of where you're meant to be. Like, I'll make mistakes moving forward right now, but then that's going to get you to the next level, do you know what I mean? So there's always new devils, like I mentioned before, but yeah, life's a lesson, innit? And I always say the same saying, but your life's a movie, make sure yours is one worth watching. Yeah. Which is a good saying what I always use because it is a movie. Don't always take life too serious. If you are struggling for money, you might be struggling, but don't overthink it where you going down the drain with mental health over it. You're not going to die. There is a way out. There is steps what you can put in place. Same as anything else. If you've just split with your missus, not the end of the world. You've not been told you've got 10 days to live right now. Just put the steps in place, work on yourself, because it all starts with you. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what hurdles you face, if you work on yourself, it eases the pain of what you're suffering at that moment, and then you can really start to shift forward. And it might take long, but you'll always shift forward, and that's how you make it through.
You've got to build that mental strength and that mental resilience and that fortitude in it. So even if you do, let's say, go for a breakup and she was the love of your life and all the whole nine, and you had a home together, kids together, and you feel upset and stuff like that. If you control your mind and you've got that resilience and you know that you're a good person and you're not really out here doing anybody any wrong, and you are going to get more opportunities to love again and to be again and stuff. And it's easy to move on. You'd be like, yeah, it's sad, she's gone, whatever, but right, sweet, going gym. I'm going to sort my life out. I'm going to keep going. Not going to go on the piss with the lads. I'm going to make the right decisions, and then I will get what's meant for me.
Yeah, it's experiences what really make it, though. It is. It's like your upbringing. You've been through some traumatic experiences and all that sort of stuff in terms of, young adulthood. It's bad at the time, but say if, something happened to you, like an experience, whether it was negative or positive, you build sort of, I don't really know the word, but you build a tolerance towards it. You build a tolerance towards a certain situation. Say if, you had a fight, you know what a fight feels like now. You built a tolerance. Next time you have a fight, it's not going to be a scarer.
It's an understanding, isn't it?
It's an understanding, yeah. So, I think really to get through things, it's about experience. But it's also good to have people who's been through that experience before you to give you, the benefits and help and action steps.
Yeah, 100%. Like life experience is the best teacher, and it gives you the most experience and the most understanding. And I feel like if you haven't got much of an understanding and you are going through something, like there's people like yourself, like me, people out there who enjoy helping people navigate through it, who do it, who get up in the morning with the attitude and the lust for life and actually want to dig in and help you transform your body, your mind, your business, whatever it may be. Like, there's people out there, man. So I just think if you're watching this and you're struggling, there's people like definitely reach out to Clint if you're wanting to get in good shape and you're wanting to be around that community, that family vibes. Like you're one of the people that springs to mind straight away as soon as I think of people like that, because what you're building and what you've built is remarkable. There's no real excuse for struggling anymore, I don't think.
Nah, you need to always speak out. That's the main thing, because if you don't, it's like even if you're not really going through a dark time, if you've just got like a certain problem in your mind, it might be the money's getting low in the bank or, something else, your relationship's on the rocks. If you're keeping that bottled in, that's trapped trauma. Well, it goes into trapped trauma. It's a negative, innit? So it's best speaking to it, and it clears your chatterbox. Your chatterbox is your mind. You clear the chatterbox, and then you refresh then, and you think, wow. It's like I was feeling negative about 2 weeks ago, something like that. I didn't know why. But then I voiced it to Nyla. Just loads of things started coming out the more I spoke about things. Obviously, unlucky for her, she got an earful, but I felt a relief after it. And then since that moment, it's like bang, 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 whew, going forward even more.
Yeah, it's like getting off that emotional baggage, that stuff that you're carrying. Like a lot of people are carrying like unwanted baggage, unwanted weight, and they're scared to offload it because they'll be seen as a burden. And I just think like people need to get out of that mentality, because there's people out there who want to help. They can't help you if you don't tell them. People aren't sidekicks, people aren't mind readers, people aren't gonna just bump into you and just change your life. You've got to be willing to take the first steps yourself. But I feel like people as well, they could have 99 good things going on in this one problem, and they'll just magnify the one problem, when really, like, speaking from my own experience, when I was homeless, I had 99 problems and I had the one good thing, which was me. So then if you take everything away like from you and you've just got you left, like what does that look like? And if you're not happy with it, work on it. If you don't know how, reach out to people. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of power in reaching out and speaking out, like you just said.
It always goes back to you, doesn't it? It does always go back to it. All starts with you, everything. So
you just said, innit? Like when you your life didn't change till you pointed the finger at you. You said it's not like, instead of ignoring the going out all the time, ignoring the sleeping around, being sloppy, being lazy, whatever, it was like putting your hands on your hips, like, this isn't working for me. Like, and really in life, you're supposed to work for things. Things aren't supposed to work for you. And like a lot of men have got that like entitled mindset, haven't they, bro? Like, you've really got to like work for the things that you want in life, man. Yeah, it's powerful.
Powerful stuff, sir.
Powerful stuff, mate.
Couldn't have said it a better way myself.
So, like, as we're coming to wrap up the end of the episode, like, I just want to say thanks for coming on and sharing your story and stuff. And like, you shared a lot of wisdom, a lot of life experience. You've given a lot of value to the viewers. But if there's a certain group of people watching who are struggling, if there's whether it's a man, a woman, anybody who's came to watch this episode, like, what would you want them to take away from this episode and take away from you more than anything?
I'd say it's okay not to be perfect, but the fastest way to move forward is start to work on yourself. Don't point the finger. Don't think it's anyone else's fault. No matter what challenges you are facing, just start with you, because there's always things what you can change. So let's stop focusing on the things what you can't change.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's just like you're saying, it's just taking accountability for the mess that you've made and fixing it and stuff like that. And I think you're living proof of that, aren't you? So that's how...
Yeah, I could still be a party boy in IB for doing seasons that have, 40 odd, really, couldn't I? Do you know what I mean? I could still be doing that. You choose the life what you live, don't you?
But look at like people like will hear this and they'll see, like, even from down to your love life to your business, like every area of your life, even your communities that you built, your friendship groups, the people you've attracted, it's all got better when you started changing you.
Yeah,
when you started fixing, because you've not blamed a single soul within this like couple of hours that we've been talking. You've not said, oh, well, I didn't have this or I didn't have that. You've said, look, I was given everything by my mum. I had nice a layout by my dad, discipline, structure and stuff, and I went out and I made my own decisions and I rolled the dice on 5 different jobs and messed up and slept around and didn't realise what I had when I had a good thing. And there's a lot of power and accountability in your story, and I think like people should really, really take note and take that, if anything, from this episode.
Well, that's it. You could easily like go through life and say, oh, mum said there's no money in PT and that's why I've not made it. It's just an excuse, isn't it? It sounds good for you because you're not willing to put in the work. That's all it is. I'm willing to put in the work, more than anyone. I work every single day. It's not like I need to persuade myself to get out of bed. I'm springing out of bed and I'm excited the night before about the next day because I think, what have we got in store today then?
You're passionate about what you do as well, innit? That's what I mean. That's one thing that you do. Like, that's why you do the events and stuff. Like, Have you got any events? You said about the retreat in Marbella.
Yeah, so I've got a retreat in Marbella on the 31st to the 4th, so that's going to be good. I'm going to be going to Marbella.
Is that this month?
Nah, July.
31st of July.
31st of July. I'm going to actually be going Marbella myself. Start of July. I'm going to be there for like a month or something like that, and then, go from there, because get used to the climate and all that. I just enjoy it. I love Marbella. It's like my second home. It's like Ibiza used to be my second home, but it's like a party place. Marbella, it's successful people there. You can do the party if you want to do the party. I've had loads of parties over there in the past, you know what I mean? But you can do the nice meals. You can go to the mint gyms. You can be surrounded by like-minded people. You can do the content. Everyone's vibrating on the same frequency. Like, I literally flown from Manchester to Marbella, and I went this gym called Paddle Beach. And obviously there's a sauna and ice bath and all that there. And there's only me and one guy in this sauna, right? And this is how the law of attraction works. And I just got chatting to him. And he was into exactly the same mindset stuff as me. And I've flown like 2-3 hours. You think, what are the odds in that?
Yeah.
And I was even in like the ice bath. And then there was a business owner in there chatting about growing his business. Everyone who's on the same frequency, they do the same things. That's all it is. It's like everyone who goes Benidorm, for example, love Benidorm, but they're there for getting pissed all the time.
Yeah.
And, they're not really got any ambition or anything.
So it's really where you put yourself in it. So if you make a conscious effort to go to Marbella with this mindset, you take it with you like it's your fucking suitcase, and then you land there, mate, you automatically attract those kind of people. Whereas if you go into a cesspit like Benidorm, then you're going to attract little messes, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the places that you place yourself, and I think that'll be a sick that Marbella shout.
Yeah, it will. And then we've got plans to do another mindset one towards the back end of the year. I think probably October, November. I've not planned a date yet, but definitely be speaking on it anyway.
No doubt it'll be massive, won't it, man?
Yeah, it'll be the biggest one. Yeah. There's a lot of planning what goes into it. So get the Marbella out the way, come back. Then we've got the biggest photo shoot in the UK. Wow. 50 people doing it. So it's going to be a busy day, to say the least. And then at the near the end of the year, we've got the mindset event. Like I say, there's not a date, but it's going to be good. And then at the end of the year, we always have the active party, which is on the 4th of December. So that's like, I've rented the full private room in Tattoo. You're more than welcome to come. It's 40 people only though.
Yeah.
So we get a private table, 3-course dinner, 1,500 spent on a bar tab and all that. For anyone who drinks, it's just included into the package. Day package for me.
When's that?
It's all about giving back, innit? 4th of December. So we always have an end of year shoot on the 4th of December, and we have a meal out with a team to treat everyone, to show appreciation on the 4th of December. So it's like a combination of a love day, really.
It's a big bar tab, mate. I know that much, mate.
Yeah.
Food and everything. Wow.
Yeah.
But that's just another testament to your brand, to the type of person you are, and yeah, mate, I just wish you nothing but the best, and I'm glad that I'm going to be a part of certain things as well, mate. I'm excited. So what I'm going to do, in the description, I'm going to put Clint's Instagram handle, social media information, and a few notes and stuff like that for the people who don't know who he is and have only just discovered him now. Just check him out on all social media platforms, all different types of content, bit of humour, loads of progress, loads of positive stuff, and just really give him a follow and get behind him, man, because it's a brand that you're going to see in the future grow.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Cheers for having us on, sir.
Come on, mate.